There is an island on this planet that should not be possible. Fishermen have sailed past its exact coordinates and seen nothing but open water. Weeks later, other sailors passed the same coordinates and found solid land, trees, sand, a full-functioning island sitting exactly where nothing existed before. Then it was gone again, not destroyed. Not sunken in some dramatic storm. Just gone, like it was never there at all. And the terrifying part is, this has been happening for years, documented, photographed, argued about by scientists who still cannot fully agree on why. Now think about this for a second, because this hits a lot closer to home than you'd expect. Have you ever had something in your life feel completely solid one moment? A relationship, a plan, a version of yourself you were sure was permanent, and then watched it just disappear without warning? No explanation. No dramatic ending. It was just there, and then it wasn't. That confusion, that unsettled feeling of not trusting what's real anymore. That is exactly what people who witness this island go through. Except for them, it's not a metaphor. It's the ground literally vanishing beneath their feet. The first confirmed sightings weren't from random people either. They came from experienced ship captains, people who have spent their entire lives reading coastlines and water patterns for a living. These are not people who panic over shadows or mistake fog for land. And yet, multiple separate crews across different years reported the exact same thing. Solid ground, vegetation, enough detail to draw it on maps. Then, on return trips, nothing but ocean stretching in every direction. So naturally, people started asking the obvious question. Is this an optical illusion? A trick of light and water vapor? Or is something far stranger going on, something that doesn't fit neatly into any explanation we're comfortable with? As more expeditions were launched to investigate, the story only got stranger. Some crews reported strange electronic interference near the coordinates. Compasses spinning without explanation, instruments giving inconsistent readings. Others claimed the water temperature shifted dramatically right at the location, as if something beneath the surface was affecting the environment in ways nobody could measure properly. And here's the detail that keeps researchers up at night. Satellite imagery from certain angles at certain times has captured faint outlines in the water in that exact same spot. Shapes, shadows, something. Let that sit for a second, because we haven't even gotten to the part that changes everything. Here's where the real answer starts forming, and honestly, it's more fascinating than any conspiracy theory could ever be. This phenomenon is very likely connected to something called a sandbar island, combined with a natural process called a mirage effect caused by temperature differences between the air and the ocean surface. In certain rare conditions, shifting sandbars can rise just above sea level temporarily, especially during specific tide cycles and seasonal changes, creating what looks like solid, permanent land. Then, as tides shift or storms move sediment around, that same sandbar can sink back beneath the surface within days or even hours, disappearing completely. Combine that with something called a fata morgana, a rare and powerful type of mirage caused by layers of air at different temperatures bending light in dramatic ways. And you get something that looks, from a distance, exactly like a fully formed island, complete with what appears to be trees, cliffs, even movement. Sailors across history have documented this exact illusion, sometimes so convincing that entire crews were certain they were looking at solid land that was never actually there in the way they believed. That's the value drop moment right there, and it's honestly one of the most beautiful explanations in this entire mystery. Nature isn't lying to us. It's just operating on rules our eyes were never built to fully understand. Water, temperature, light, and shifting sand combining together to create something that feels impossible, even though every piece of it follows real, measurable physics. But here's the twist that changes everything, so stay with me because this is the part almost nobody expects. When deep water sonar mapping was finally done across multiple recorded sighting locations, researchers discovered something unexpected. In several of these spots, there actually was solid structure beneath the surface. Not currently above water, not currently an island, but real, raised landmass sitting just below the waterline, occasionally shifting close enough to breach the surface during extreme low tides or unusual sediment buildup before slowly sinking back down again. Which means, in certain rare cases, this wasn't only an illusion. Sometimes for a short and unpredictable window, the island was actually, physically, briefly real. Let that land for a second. This means somewhere on this planet there are land masses that exist right on the edge between above water and underwater, appearing and disappearing based on forces most people will never witness in their entire lifetime. Not myth, not trickery. Actual geography playing hide and seek with human eyes across centuries. That is the real dopamine spike of this story. It's not a hoax, and it's not fully explained magic either. It's proof that our planet is still capable of surprising us, still hiding physical realities that only reveal themselves under exact rare conditions most of us will never personally experience. So where does that leave us? The island was never lying to the people who saw it. It was simply following rules of nature far more complex and rare than most of us ever stop to consider. Sometimes what looks impossible isn't fake at all. It's just operating on a timeline and set of conditions we don't fully understand yet. And maybe that's true for more than just islands. Maybe some of the things in your own life that felt like they vanished without explanation were following their own hidden logic too, one you just weren't able to see clearly in the moment. If an entire island can appear, disappear, and hide in plain sight for centuries without a fully agreed upon explanation, imagine what else on this planet is quietly waiting for the right conditions to reveal itself. Subscribe, because the next mystery might be even harder to believe than this one.